Welcome, everybody, to the Hounds Tales Podcast. This is your home for field trialing and deer dog hunting. It'll be stories and discussions on the world of dog hunting. So let's drop the gate, cast your hounds, and get ready for another episode of the Hounds Tales Podcast. The Hounds Tales Podcast is proud to partner with Outdoor Dog Supply yet again for the 2026 year. Outdoor Dog Supply is the leader in online garment sales with their world-class trade-in programs. These guys are not just a business, they are houndsmen and women too. They test their products out there in the field and put them to the test every day during hunting season and field trial season, guys. Get the latest in garment equipment, stay locked and ready with field trial equipment, collars, leashes, and so much more. Visit their website today at OutdoorDogSupply.com, and we want to thank Outdoor Dog Supply again for their support, not only for the podcast, but for field trials across the country, our help in fighting to keep our rights as houndsmen and women across the states. And when you're looking for your next purchase and equipment, keep Outdoor Dog Supply in mind. Now, let's get this episode going, guys. Welcome, everybody, to the Hounds Tales Podcast. In this episode, we are starting off the 2026 year. I have been watching and listening and hearing all the comments, hearing all the back and forth, and plenty of people have messaged me, asking me when it's time to get it going again, and here we are. We're finally back going. It's been a heck of an off season. Definitely enjoyed a little bit of a break, a little bit of a time, but we got a lot of cool stuff to talk about in this episode, and as y'all can see, if you're watching on YouTube, I have a guest with me, which we'll talk about how it's not necessarily a guest anymore, but we'll let him introduce himself a little bit. But Mr. Jackson Williams, buddy, how are you?
Doing good, man. How are you?
We're here, brother. We're here. We're going to rock and roll with this thing. We're going to share the big news here in a little bit, but actually, we're just going to go ahead and do it now. So I don't know how many of you may have seen it, but Mr. Jackson Williams here was commenting a few times. I think you had made a post or two about it, if I remember right, and was talking about maybe trying to start his own podcast. And something just kind of took over and kind of reached out to me and made me kind of want to reach out to him. And me and him did a little talking, but I want to introduce y'all to the newest member of the Hounds Tales Podcast. So, Mr. Jackson Williams, I'll kind of let you take over for a minute and introduce yourself, and we'll kind of get into where we're going with this and what we're going to do. But at first, just just give us a little background on yourself. How about that? We'll start there.
Yeah. So, like you said, I was definitely interested in starting, a podcast. But very, very glad James contacted me. We got a lot of it worked out. So I think what we are going to do now is me and him I would co-host with his. But definitely mine's going to be surrounded with hounds. But the main thing I wanted to kind of go a direction of is more of the Jesus and dog side, and kind of see where it goes from there. About a year ago, I would say, I was really, really convicted, changed my life completely. And ever since then, everything I've done has been centered around Christ, and I found where dogs is truly helped me learn biblically, morally, with life. He has shown me a great amount of lessons through dogs, whether they get out and get gone and I'm looking for them, or just everyday hunting. There's not many times that I don't relate biblically with dogs some kind of way that he don't show me or teach me or learn me or however it goes. And I just kind of wanted to, share that with people, and I have come to soon realize that there is more people like me, and, just disciples trying to make disciples.
That's it. I like that. So, that was one of the things that I noticed when you were making your post. It it wasn't just I want to make a dog hunting podcast. It wasn't just that, which is great. More power to whoever wants to do that. But it was more of that line of, like you said, it was your journey to Christ and through Christ that also includes being a houndsman. I feel like this is one of those things that there's no hiding the fact that the houndsmen are a rough group sometimes, and we all have our ways. And don't get me wrong, we all, I would say most of us are Christians. We all have our faith. We all believe in Christ and that kind of stuff. But it's the walking the walk part that I feel like a lot of houndsmen struggle with, including myself. I'm not perfect by any means. I know I got a mouth on me sometimes when I get to rolling. I don't mind a drink or two every now and then, and it's something that I struggle with as well. So that was one of my big takeaways, and what I think kind of compelled me was I feel like you were going to be a good voice on helping people that may be struggling with that walk through Christ, and kind of talking through experience with your journey on how to put that effort forward, and put the next step forward, and how you yourself kind of makes that happen. So definitely appreciate you coming on, and welcome to the team, brother.
Absolutely. And to kind of touch up on on one thing there,
Yeah.
I guess another side to it, listen to you talk there.
Mhm.
The reason, kind of wanting to go to the podcast side of it is because, we're everyday people.
Right.
We just country boys doing what we do.
That's right.
Uh, and I feel like there's a guy that I listen to. His name is Joby Martin. He's been a very big mentor to me.
Hmm.
Uh, watching him and reading some of his stuff, and he's just an everyday guy.
Right.
I mean, he's just a redneck like me and you.
Right.
And it kind of puts it, in a little bit different perspective of, you're not really looking for somebody up on a pedestal.
Right.
You can see where we screw up just as much as everybody else, and I think it's just a little bit easier to share and talk, about Christ. Especially when you're talking more down to earth people, I guess. Because I'm definitely not up there on a pedestal, no preacher by no man. I mean, I don't even talk well, so uh, just to kind of touch up, to say I by far am no preacher. I am no saint. I've been convicted, and I'm chasing my calling.
I can appreciate that a lot. I can appreciate that a lot. So, why don't you go ahead and, well, for those that may not understand too, so some of y'all might be listening and saying, all right, well, this is going to be another podcast. So the way we're going to work this is Jackson's going to come on and join me on some episodes, maybe not all of them. Sitting down and trying to get recordings done is a lot sometimes. So he may be able to join on some, maybe not be able to join on others. Then he's also going to have his own show as well. Now, you'll all be able to find this under the Hounds Tales Podcast platform. Excuse me. But when it's his week, the name of the show will be presented different. So you'll still come to the same place. You'll still come and you'll still find all of the episodes for the Hounds Tales Podcast here, but you'll also find his podcast on here as well. Under the same format, under the same plan. So it won't be any different. You'll see just a name change, and we'll talk about that here in just a second. But so don't worry for those that are listening and thinking, well, maybe I don't want to listen to that. Maybe I just want to do that, or maybe I want to listen to Jackson's stuff. They will all be under the same platform and under the same locations that you found them before. So you'll still get the notifications. You'll still get this, and it'll just be one more extra thing. So why don't you go ahead and drop the name on them, and how that name got presented or brought to you.
Yeah, so the name of it is gonna be Houndsman for Christ. Kind of how that resonated with me. I was talking with a friend of mine, and we were just sharing stories about our weekly endeavors and what we had learned.
Right.
And he just mentioned to me, he said, "Man, you sure got a lot of lessons with with the dogs." And I said, "Well, it's either we either going to work or going hunting. There's nothing else really that we do."
Right.
He said, "People probably really want to hear about some of this stuff," and I said, "Yeah, I'm sure they do, but I don't know how to tell them." And then that's kind of how this all started. Is we kind of got really serious about it, and it went from there. So we just kind of, Houndsman for Christ, just kind of, and I hope that no one is already taken that name or got that anywhere, because it wasn't stolen for any reason. If so, that is one thing I didn't check into, um, to make sure. So I hope that does not hurt anyone's
We
feelings.
could do some double checking and make
Yes,
sure.
yes. That just I just thought about that. Probably should have checked on that, but no, that was just kind of where it come from. Is we were just sitting around talking one day and talking about our week, and it started from there.
I like it. I like it. That's excellent, man. That's and I think that's just 100% true. Is people are going to want to hear this kind of conversation. I think maybe people aren't open about it, but and I kind of wanted to ask a question, see what your thoughts were on it. It was asked to me too. I was talking to somebody about it, and that you were going to be coming on, and kind of got a weird look and kind of a sideways answer back from them. But you know, and me and you've talked about this. This is not going to be something where you're on here just pushing, pushing, pushing. I think me and you probably agree on this, that it's not something along the lines of how do I word this and say it the correct way. Nobody likes to be told what to do. Nobody likes to be guilt tripped. Nobody likes to be, all right, this is how it's got to be. This is what you're going to do. This kind of thing. And I'll let you kind of explain kind of your direction on what we're going to be talking about, what you're going to be talking about, that kind of deal, with it. But I don't foresee this, and there's no intentions that I know of this to become a podcast that is like going to another Sunday service. This is more or less going to be something along the lines of, how do I say it? Well, I'll tell you what. You just kind of tell me what your thoughts are on how you're going to be talking, how you're going to be presenting this stuff.
Yeah, I'm really glad you asked that question, because that is probably more of the center basis of what I guess my crowd is trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like I mentioned, I am no preacher. I'm not a great speaker. I can't spell well. Anybody that is familiar with me has probably seen some of my Facebook posts or stories with, lessons that I have learned throughout hunting or taking care of dogs, that is related biblically with me.
Mm-hmm.
And I've shared those. And I was really surprised at the feedback that a lot of people get from it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people really, really like to hear stuff like that, because you can't go many places and, one, talk about dogs,
Right.
sit down with average, everyday people, and kind of have someone open enough to bring up the Jesus conversation. A lot of people are scared of it.
Right. Right.
I was for the longest time, especially around people that I wasn't familiar with.
Right.
Um, and over time, you kind of get more comfortable and kind of get used to it. But I grew up in church my whole life.
Right.
I was raised in church every Sunday. We went Sunday school. We went Sunday night. And recently, I would say a year ago was probably when I really changed my life. Well,
Right.
there's no probably to it. It is.
Right.
So, and that was one thing I really learned. If I sat in church for 26, 27 years, there was a lot of Sundays on that 27 years I learned
Right.
something. There was a lot of Sundays that I was nodding at the head.
Right.
And that is not a good thing for say. It's not something I'm proud of, but uh, it's hard for people like me, and I'm sure a lot of people to sit there and listen to. You don't need to do this. You don't need to do that.
Right.
It's very hard, especially if you kind of strong-willed and minded like me.
Right.
So really, it's not going to be preaching. It's more or less it's going to be talking about experience with dogs and how that may change our lives or
Hmm.
stuff of that nature. So no, it's not going to be uh, you need to do this. It's more or less going to be a background of my wrongdoings and my downfalls and how I've learned from it, and other people like me.
Love that.
There's several people that has got into dogs recently,
Mm.
or got into Jesus recently that is on fire with it, and
Right.
I'm very excited to talk to a couple of them to hear their experiences. Because man, it's really eye opening.
Yeah.
It can really change your perspective on a lot of things. It's just I think it'll be different. It's not going to be a Sunday sermon by no means.
Good. 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 And I feel like most of us, I feel like most of us accept that better. Not necessarily like you, well, kind of like you were saying. It's not like, all right, do this, do this, do this. It's more of a, hey, I've done this, and this is how it's helped me and changed my life. And it will be those kind of conversations, not the, like you said, the preaching aspect of it. So, which that's, it's, I just, and I think we have the same hope for this. I hope that this changes people's lives in a good way. While we're sitting here talking about dogs, I mean, what more can you really ask for? You're
Absolutely.
going to be getting the best of both worlds, and I'm super excited for it. Very glad that we're able to work this out and make this thing work. And we'll have to check on that name and make sure that's not trademarked yet. But we'll definitely
For, for sure.
we'll do some digging on that. So it may be how do I say
Name change.
that's the name until further notice kind of
That's right.
deal. So, but no, man, I'm very excited, and I can't wait to see what kind of guests you bring on. I know we've been talking about some, and I'm not going to spoil anything, or we're not going to lead to anything. But if we get some of these guys on here, it's going to be great.
Absolutely.
I'm super excited for all that. So, um, all right, guys, we're going to take a quick pause, real quick in the episode. I want to talk about our partners over at Elite Nutrition. Guys, our hounds, they are athletes. They give us their all each and every time we cast them, whether it be at field trials, in the deer woods, no matter what the situation is. They give us their all. Elite Nutrition offers all natural products to give your dogs the natural benefits that they truly deserve. From the Canine Remove, an all natural wormer, to the Electro Boost, it's a paste that's an electrolyte replenishment and for body fluid balance and blood flow improvement. They also have products like Active Dog Powder for recovery and joint and muscle support, Essential Dog Powder for daily vitamins and minerals, probiotics and prebiotics and enzymes, the Canine Lactate Powder for nursing dogs to help with milk supply, and there's so many more products, guys. Check them out at CajunLights.com. Click on the Elite Nutrition section to explore all the different options that they have. When you go to check out at CajunLight.com only, use the code HT Elite 10. That's HT Hounds Tales Elite 10, the number 10 at the end, to receive 10% off your Elite Nutrition products. Again, that's HT Elite 10 to get 10% off your Elite Nutrition products via CajunLights.com. Been using their products now for a couple years now, guys. Love every single one of them, and we'll also be taking some step forwards in promoting their each product during episodes with spotlight sections every other episode, maybe every other episode, something like that. So we're definitely looking forward to that, and thank the Elite Nutrition for coming back on, guys. All right, let's get back to the episode. So let's go back to you, man. Who is Jackson Williams? What is your background in hounds? Kind of let's start from the very beginning, man. Who got you started in the hounds, and when did you start getting in? When did well, let's start there. Who got you into hounds?
Yeah, so I guess I'd be a typical dog man. I don't really ever remember uh, what age I was when I realized that I was in the world, but that is when I was loving dogs.
Right.
Whenever I gain consciousness, it's been around. I passed down from generations. Yeah, it's I guess
Very nice.
one of the first times I can remember, probably I was about four.
Very nice.
A vivid story. I was about four. We were, Daddy used to coon hunt real hard.
Yeah.
Um, but ever since then, I grew up, with dogs. Daddy had dogs. Actually, the house that I stay in now was the house
Mhm.
that I grew up in,
Okay.
and the dog pens that my dogs are in was built before any house was. And that was 32 years ago.
Wow.
So yeah, so dog pen's been here when Granddaddy bought the land. That's the first thing he put up was dog pens. So
That's awesome.
I'm surrounded by my family. So anybody that moved, they complain about the dog. I'm like, well, dog
Right.
pen's here for everybody else. So, but they don't nobody really complain. We got a whole farm out here. But no, got into high school. I think I was probably 15 or 16 when I really truly cared.
Right.
I always loved dogs, but it was either 15 or 16.
Mhm.
It was my freshman year
Okay.
when I really looked at Daddy and said, I want a dog.
Okay.
And it kind of started from there. That we've coon hunted, we've deer hunted, we right now we fox hunt with broke dogs. Been doing that strong for about 8 years.
That's what I
Um,
was going to ask. Is so was it sounds like coon dogs is probably what you started out on, right?
yeah, my daddy's always had deer dogs. I
Okay.
don't remember him not having deer dogs, but he
Gotcha.
coon hunted very hard. When he got out of the coon dogs when I was about 9. I
Right.
started playing baseball. Travel ball ruins a lot of things.
Right.
At
Right.
the time, I enjoyed it. That ain't what I'm saying, but
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
uh, yeah, he kind of he sold the coon dogs, and I was playing ball real hard, and
Hmm.
it was easier to the coon hunt was easier to fit my schedule when I was playing ball hard because I could.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it was easier to hunt. You didn't have to hunt, you know, 10 times a week.
Right.
It was easier. And I had a little dog that was easy to hunt. Didn't really competition hunt much. I
Yep.
did go to a few that I enjoyed it. But I got a lot of respect for the coon dog guys. I think they're very smart with their
Yep.
with their breeding and how they're doing things. I think they're kind of ahead of the running dog world in some certain sense in certain ways. But
Right.
I got a lot of respect for coon dog people. So I do have a base in coon dogs. And I've had a plot that was a retired bear dog that treed squirrels.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. Now she treed one squirrel, and when you knocked that one out to her, you had to go put her in the truck and turn her back out loose out of the truck. She wouldn't go from tree to tree. So it was kind of like you was coon hunting with a squirrel dog. Uh, but man, if it had a dog with it, and I've done it and I've enjoyed it and I've liked it. We've
That's
had bird
awesome.
dogs. I don't know that these men. The only thing I can tell you I haven't done is probably hog hunt with dogs.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd like to try that too.
It, it,
That's one on my list.
it's tough. You
Yeah.
got to be a tough fella.
Yeah. Yeah. I figured you got to get after it with them boys. I tell you though, I've always joked around with the wife. I've told her many times. I've said, if fox hunting disappeared, you know, before I was too old to do it anymore, coon hunting's probably what I'd do. I'm like you. And the more and more I learned about coon hunting, the more and more respect I had for those guys, and being able to call what their dogs are doing and know the dogs, and the fact they're only feeding like 3 or 4 of them at a time is great too. you know?
Yes, it's definitely a different side to it. I guess I think with the coon dog side of it, more people could relate to the retriever side. It's more one on one.
Yeah. Hmm.
And I think a lot of guys, like me, didn't get a lot of experience with the one on one.
Right.
Uh, and it has helped me. I can say this with the coon dog, and they used to. My cousin and Daddy used to do the retrievers. Um, that really helps me a lot. With the broke dogs, and I would probably say even field trialing really.
Right.
Those guys really really pay attention.
Yeah.
And they're
Yep.
really smart. They
Right.
they are they're really smart. I would say, yeah, as a joke, I tell people this all the time. Dogs are smarter than most people, and a lot of times they're smarter than the people handle them. And,
Right.
and and in reality, a lot of times they are, especially in today's time. With the technology,
Right.
there's nothing a dog can't do.
Yeah. Yep.
Of course, there's
Yep.
some that's better than others,
That's
but
right. That's right. That's
you
right.
can you can make a dog do anything.
Yeah.
I can remember the first time I've ever seen. Uh, a dog come and get in somebody's truck when it was told to. It mind blowing. I was completely mind blown. Uh,
Right.
Growing up, so I think the great thing with me is I'm kind of in that in between stage was I was still old enough to remember without the technology.
Yeah. 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 Same here. Same
I,
here.
I think that is a really really good thing that's helped me because I was surrounded by a lot of the old school guys and still am.
Right.
And I'm now I'm surrounded by a lot of the newer school ways, and I think both have something to teach you if you listen.
Agreed. Yeah. Agreed. Yeah. I was blessed enough to be in that same kind of era of, I mean, heck, I didn't even. My dad still don't own a tracking box. I know I've said that a million times on this show, but my dad still don't own a tracking box. When he turns his dogs out, it is stick your head out the window and listen.
That's right.
It's stick your head out the window and listen. People talk about it all the time on there. It's so funny. They get on the CB and say, "Nut, where your dog's at?" He'll tell them, "Put your head out the window and listen. I can't hear from over here. Quit
He
sitting
got a
in the
lot of
truck. You'll
truth
be able
to
to
it.
find out."
He got a lot of truth to it.
So what? So broke fox dogs.
Yep.
You know, that's something. Me and
Different.
we've joked about it back and forth and talked about it.
For sure.
I want to come experience that. That's a whole different ball game, man. I really want to watch that. So what made you get into, like, what was that transition from the all these other dogs and to the broke fox dogs? Like, why? Where did that come from?
So Daddy always talked about around here. I guess we start with the background. Uh, this was before I got the experience, but around here, and
Right.
I think a lot of places, people used to run deer and foxes with the same dogs.
Yeah. Right.
Here at my house, there was deer in the river swamp, but after
Right.
deer season, you still run your dogs. You come out
Right.
here on the hill where there wasn't deer, and you could do it with the same dogs.
Right.
Well, today's time's a little bit different. There's deer everywhere.
That's right.
Um, and I really wish I could have grew up in them days, but that was a little before my time. Uh,
Right.
so I always heard Daddy talk about it. Never really got to hear a real fox race till
Right.
I was 17.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry, I was 16. I remember it was the my sister got married on the day that I seen the first real fox race end, I guess we could say. And it was never ever would imagine that I would have experienced anything like that, and I
Right.
haven't turned back since. It changed me 100%. Now,
Gotcha.
don't get me wrong, I love deer hunting. We
Right.
still do. I mean, we still keep a couple dogs around the deer hunt, but
Right.
um, it's not the same. It,
Yeah.
it, it ain't even close.
Yeah. Yeah. Y'all run big packs, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of times in the wintertime, I'll kind of hunt. In the summertime, yes. We hunt a lot in the crops.
Right.
And in today's time with the coyotes, if you're gonna find foxes, you're gonna be up around houses, closer to town. And there's two things you got to do. One, you've got to talk to people.
Yep.
Two, you've got to have help.
Yeah.
I don't foresee anybody that can really hunt by themselves. A good hunting partner is probably more important than a good jump dog, and you can't buy a good jump dog for any price.
Right.
If somebody's got one, they're not selling it unless they're
That's right.
selling it. But a good hunting partner is probably the most important thing, and I would say that with any kind of hunting, really.
I got you.
Um,
I
so
got you.
you can't really hunt by it is definitely a team effort. One with the highways,
Hmm.
everybody's got a role to play, uh, and you got to learn it kind of quickly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely, especially when you get bad traffic. Um, and then in the wintertime is you got your puppies that's made it through the summer, and you figure out
Right.
what you're keeping. And I'll kind of break off when we start messing with the cats a lot more, and you can kind of get away from the highways.
Right. Right.
Um, you turn young dogs out a lot more and get them broke, and
Yeah.
it's you can hunt by yourself a little bit like that.
Right.
And that's kind of what me and Daddy do in the summertime. I'm sorry, excuse me, in the wintertime. We'll kind of break off a little bit, still hunt with people, still enjoy it.
Okay.
But definitely in the wintertime, you spend more time by yourself, kind of just finishing off young dogs, getting them
Right.
broke, simply just because you can get off the highway.
Right. Now, are you taking those dogs out one by one, or are you these young dogs? Are you taking them as a group as a time?
So generally what I do is when I if they make it at my house by October the 15th,
Right.
really if they've made it by July, whatever I've raised that year, if they've made it by July, they're generally going to stick around.
Gotcha.
But there is some of them that can't really handle getting broke.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and sometimes they just don't pan out kind of like you think.
Right. Right.
But generally, if they make it to my house by October, they probably don't leave.
Gotcha.
They die here.
Gotcha.
Generally, some strange things has happened.
Hmm.
But if I keep him much past a year old, he probably gonna die here.
I got you. So when you're doing that breaking on those young dogs, are you doing it as a group setting, or are you taking each one to break them of any trash game? Like if you're trash breaking, are you doing that one by one, or are you kind of as a whole kind of deal?
Both.
Both. Hmm.
Yeah, both. In the summertime, so ideally for us, if you got June, July puppies, it's perfect because they're
Right.
about a year old when you start hunting in the summer.
Makes sense.
Uh, and when you get in these crops, the deer don't tend to hang out in the bean fields like people think, and if they do, you can see the deer get up in front of them.
Gotcha.
That makes a big difference. Um, it's a little bit easier, but foxes is easier to find in the summertime, and you can get right there on them.
Makes sense.
You put them in a position to be a lot more successful than you are in the wintertime.
Gotcha.
So in this, we do it both ways. In the winter, if I have one that's hard to break,
Yep.
what we've actually started doing that seems to really work is take the deer dogs. That way, I know that they're running a deer,
That's right.
and just send the young dogs to them and correct them.
Yep.
And then what I'll do is I'll go straight from there and put them in the fox pen.
I got you. Okay.
Because the worst thing doing, I guess, the broke dogs, even if you got a great litter of puppies, if you got to have a little bit of luck with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Absolutely.
the best thing that can happen is they jump a deer and you immediately get them in a fox race.
Gotcha.
If they
Gotcha.
have to, and now, granted, this is kind of where you got to understand each dog's mentality.
Right.
But a lot of ours is hard headed, so
Yeah.
they need more than one session.
Right. Need a couple
Um,
rounds of education.
Yeah,
I understand.
definitely a couple times. So I'm not really as worried about messing some of them up as other people. Simply just because they are more hard headed. But yeah,
Right.
we do both.
Okay. Very nice.
I've started now, man. When I get them out the starting pen, we start hauling them. Go ahead and get it over with. That's the best
Gotcha.
thing to do.
Yep. Makes sense.
It
So
really
y'all,
is.
I'm assuming that y'all are running primarily foxhounds, right? Just straight up.
Yeah, everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I didn't know if y'all had any kind of mixed in like curs or anything like that. That was kind of changing up. All just straight up American foxhounds.
Some days I want to change it up. Some days I want to change it up a lot. Uh, Other days I'm glad I didn't. But yeah, there's a lot of days I wish I had something different than what I got.
understand
I
that.
tell people all the time, it is the best thing you could ever experience, and it is also the worst. If
Right.
it's good, there is nothing better. But when it is bad, it
It
is
is the worst.
it's the worst. It'll
I'm
literally mentally drive you crazy.
I'm doing lead training on my puppies, my 5-month-old pups right now, trying to get them to eat off a lead, and so they all individually eat. And Lord, I mean, I've had some of them the past 2 days. I'm like, come on, y'all got to give me a break. Y'all got to quit crocodile rolling, quit slamming your head into the gate. Like y'all got to quit this. Just come on. You just shouldn't take more than two chances
Yeah.
to learn this. But no, here we are, day 2, and still struggle bussing right now.
And the ones you like's the ones that's gonna be on the struggle bus.
That's the one. I got a big male that I'm super excited for and can't wait to see what he turns out to. And he is the most hard hittingest one. I mean, you go over there, rub on him, love on him, and you turn back around and he's upside down, flipped over backwards, trying to climb up the lot, trying to hang himself. I'm like, good God, dude, just chill, just
Yeah,
relax a little bit. That's all you got to do.
just calm down some.
Yeah.
I like the hard headed ones, probably because that's what I started out with was hard headed ones. But I like the
Right.
hard headed ones. But they will make you appreciate a easy dog to break.
They do.
They really
They
will.
do. Yeah, I've got 2 other ones in the same litter that's just as calm and cool and collective as you could ever ask for. I hooked them up. They crocodiled for once or twice, and they're like, all right, whatever, we're going to eat. All right, guys, we're going to interrupt the episode again real quick. The Hounds Tales Podcast would like to take a second and talk about our friends over at Cajun Lights. Whether you're pleasure running at night or judging nighttime field trials, put your trust in Cajun Lights, guys. With the economical Cajun Bayou for the every now and then light user, the Cajun Micro for your nighttime feeds, and trust me, that sucker comes in handy. And to the top level Cajun Blinder for the hardcore crossing getters. The Cajun Lights are headlights style lamps that free up your hands for voice recorders and your GPS. They offer flood style lights in red, amber, and a white walking light. Then the top of the line 4-level main beam light. If you're having a hard time catching crossings at night, give the Cajun Light a try. With the red and amber setting to catch the game with an easy flick of a switch, go right back to your main beam light, guys, and see your hounds in action. Visit their store today at CajunLights.com or check out. Make sure that you fill out the survey and select Hounds Tales Podcast to receive 5% off your next purchase from Cajun Lights. Guys, trust me. Tough lights. Cannot say enough good about these guys. And Made in America products. Be sure to check them out. CajunLights.com. All right, I won't hold y'all up no more. Let's get back to the episode, guys. Here we go. But and you correct me if I'm wrong here. You're getting when did you start, or how has the transition into the competition field trialing gone from that? Or are you into that kind of stuff?
So I've always, from the coon dog side of it, I'm very competitive. We can put it that way. But I do not have field trial dogs.
Gotcha.
I would say about a year and a half, 2 years ago, I met Madison Leggett, and since then we've kind of become a thing.
Right.
And she has dragged me to some of these events. We're gonna put it that way, voluntold.
Voluntold.
Yeah, I acted that way, but and there was a certain sense that I do enjoy it.
Right.
I on a bigger stage, I by far don't know that I could ever get into the puppy hunting.
Oh, no, me neither.
Now there is 2 pens that I enjoy taking my puppies to. That's Dick Mills and Gator Bay. They're all
Okay.
foxes, and I could care less if they are 40th or first. I go for the training, and it is the best
Right.
to me for what we do. Now I'm not saying for a pen dog, I really wouldn't put them there, or thinking that they need to be in it.
Yeah.
Ours it's just it's all foxes, which is one that you don't find a lot,
Right.
especially around my way, and there ain't no deer in it. So
Yeah.
it is a very good opportunity for me to get my puppies around 40 and 50 dogs, which is a big deal to us.
Right.
Dogs being able to handle pressure. I think that's
Right.
the hardest part I had to learn with the field trialing aspect was the amount of coyotes in a pen versus how we hunt with
Right.
a crowd of dogs running one animal versus, dogs everywhere
Gotcha.
running
Splitting
something.
up. Right.
That is an adjustment that I had to make in several different aspects.
Right.
That I had to really, really learn to not judge kind of the same way, the same
Yeah.
aspect. And it really wasn't fair to judge it the same way. The end goal is two different things. And that is something that I had to learn. But I do enjoy it. I really, really enjoy judging.
Yeah.
And I could see where I could get into the field trialing at a on a high level.
Right.
But the puppy hunts and I would go to talk to people. I really wouldn't. It'd be hard for me to get excited to go to a puppy hunt. I can see why
I'm the same
somebody
way.
gets excited to go to a truck hunt.
Yeah. Right.
Especially with the amount of competition that's there. I mean, you are running against the best that there is.
The best of the best. That's
Yes,
it.
and that
It's
is
bringing them out. That's for sure.
absolutely, and that's my goal. Who's the best?
Yeah. That's it. That's
Yep.
it. That's the competitive side.
Yeah.
I done tried twice to win one of these daggone raffles that people are doing to get me a truck hunt number. I said, if I do any more, I might as well just save up the extra and just buy a daggone number.
Yeah, I was about to say, if you just keep trying, well, by the time you get to about the $900 range with the raffles, you'd win one.
You'd win. That's about right. That's about right. I told myself, I said, I might try one more, but after that, I ain't doing no more. Because at that point, I'm just going towards that money anyway. So,
Yeah.
but
If I ain't mistaken, I'm pretty sure I thought where I saw one person win two of the entries. I could be wrong on that because some people's doing them different ways where
Right.
3 winners and stuff. But I thought I seen where one person won twice. I was like, that is not my kind of luck at all.
well, the two that I've been on, my name has been the second little notch on that wheel.
There
The
you go.
next notch on that wheel when it comes to the truck hunt spin. I said, you know what? I'm gonna start saying some wordy dirds if I keep on doing these things.
There you go.
I was like, I gotta quit because I can't do it no more. That's beyond me. But so we've been let's see, we've been talking introduction to yourself, the podcast. So it's been a while since we've had an episode out, since the Hounds Tales Podcast has put out an episode. I've had, like I said at the beginning of this thing, I've had a lot of messages. So this off season is what I'm going to call it, has been crazy. It's been a lot going on, and so I don't know about yourself. I know, and you do dog hunt still, right? Do you still deer dog hunt?
Yes, we do still deer hunt.
I figured so. So how was your deer dog hunting season?
So it was interesting. This is the first year that Maddie has come with us about
Okay.
every time, and I finally told her quit trying. Oh, no, I'm picking. She's pretty good with it.
She gonna smack you.
Yeah. Well, the first couple that she tried, I would have to go like 150 yards in there,
Yeah.
and get it, and then
Yeah.
after that, I was like, I'm done. Either stop it where it is, or I'm done. You find somebody else. I'm done. Because my biggest pet thing, because I ain't seen Daddy kill a deer in probably 10 years, 12
Right.
years.
Right.
We don't really shoot. We just we go run dogs.
Yeah. Right.
Now I'll get a wild hair in my rump, and if
Right.
we get after a nice buck, I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say that I don't try to kill it, because I do. Even though,
Right. Don't get excited over it. Right.
yeah, I lie to myself and say I'm not supposed to, but I do. The old me will come out and try to kill a nice deer, and occasionally it does. But generally on average, I don't care to shoot. Don't really try to shoot. One, I ain't gonna stop. I really don't want to stop hunting to go clean a deer to begin with. That's my biggest pet. I can't stand it. If getting like 30 degrees,
Yep.
don't shoot no deer for me. I'm going crazy. Oh, I can't stand it. But especially when
I've
you
gotten to
have a
that
clean
point now.
pond.
Like, when the chase is over, I'm ready to go load up and go get on the next chase, or
Yeah.
whatever. But man, when you shoot it, it's like, well, daggone, now the work started. The rest of it was fun. Now the work started.
I have seen days. I grew up very lucky, and I didn't realize how lucky I was. There was 5 of us,
Right.
and we hunted, I think, 8,500 acres. And there
Good
was
gosh.
Daddy and his buddy that had dogs. That was it. And
Dang.
I
Oh,
grew up hunting that way. So I grew up, you got to have a trail dog, you got to
right.
have a jump dog, and if your dogs don't run it, you ain't hearing no chase, and you ain't killing no deer.
Right. Right. Right.
And now I'm older. I'm like, I had no idea
Yeah.
just how fortunate I was because after so many years, of course, it gets harder and harder. Land shrunk and all that. But
Right.
I have joined a club that's like 14,000 acres, and they turn loose a pile of dogs, and you have to sit on your stand till 9 o'clock. And
No.
apparently, a bunch of people, kind of hunt that way, and I never did. And I'm like, this sucks. Hear
Right.
my dogs. I want to hear my dogs. I mean,
Right.
yours sound good, but I want to hear mine. I
That's
paid them
right.
to listen to them.
That's right.
And I've kind of had to adapt to that. But we have been fortunate to find some places to hunt. It's a little smaller. We only hunt a couple dogs.
I got you.
Uh, that's definitely overtone broke. Compared to back in the good old days.
Right.
But it's fun, and we don't really try to shoot. We just run deer, and we
That's
try to
awesome.
see how long we could run them.
There you go.
And we do our part to kind of keep the deer turned and keep him where he's supposed to be, and
Yep.
it is our goal to see just really how long we can run the same deer.
That's awesome.
That's kind of what we do. But I
You
do get a
just
wild hair and want to kill one every now and again. Ain't no
right.
need me lying.
Got to get a little bit of meat for the table.
Yeah.
I can't blame you one bit, man. We had a pretty good season up here, I'd say. We had some hot days, I'm sure it's always hot down there in y'all's neck of the woods, but
Always.
we had some really cold days too up here, so that definitely has made some effect on a lot of things. But excuse me, I was blessed enough. I don't know if everybody got to see it or not, but the guys they call themselves them Chrysler boys, Jason Lane, and they came up here from South Carolina down that way, and come up here and joined me for some deer dog hunting for a couple days. That was a lot of fun. They did a whole YouTube video on it, and they even Jace got to kill a big old nanny goat in front of old Vader dogs. So that was something that was really cool to me. Not only them coming up here to experience that, but getting a kill in front of my Vader dog. He's 9, so I don't know how many more kills in front of him he's going to have. So it very well could have been his last kill in front of him, and I got it on something I can go back and look at all the time now, and it'll always be there for me to go experience it. So
Pretty neat.
that was huge for me. So, but other than that, man, I'm as far as our field trial dogs go, we've been just kind of clicking along. It gets tough up here in our neck of the woods. I don't know how the pens in y'all's area are, but when they go to restocking up here and everywhere close to me, it's you got to have a puppy or you're limited to like a handful of dogs. So when you got a couple kennel partners and we're running 20, 25 dogs, and you know, it's tough. It's tough. I mean, you're driving all over the place. You're saying, well, all right, that dog ran last week, so this dog needs it this week, and this and that, But we managed to, we got through it. We're on the upswing now. The pens are starting to open back up pretty good. And how does restocking time affect y'all's neck of the woods down there?
It affects the field trialing world greatly. It don't affect
Yeah.
me at all. Well, we keep right on hunting.
Right.
But yes, it does. It does affect the people that are trying to keep all age dogs in shape. But
Mm-hmm.
I think most people, around here use it more as a break because there's not many all age hunts going on this time of the year.
Right. Right.
So there really ain't much of a reason to keep them in shape. But I have noticed that a lot of people, start running them on the outside a little more, or
Yep.
just to kind of keep them in shape. But yeah, man, that's tough. I mean,
It's
when
tough.
you can't, it's very tough. I mean,
Yeah,
and it's a little frustrating.
It is. It is. Because my field trial dogs, my pen dogs, they don't go outside. They don't see the outside. It's just, And a lot of people will tell me I'm wrong. A lot of people tell me that I'm crazy and my dogs could improve doing both. But I have a lot of reasons behind it. But my pen dogs do not see outside. They do not. So it's tough for me when I go by that rule. When I go by that rule, it's tough on the dogs that don't see the outside. It really does make it tough.
Well, I think with y'all having more fox pens, with foxes in it, I can see where, trying not to run them on the outside is a lot more convenient.
Right.
Especially, a lot of it's not running too. And if you, go to bigger pens where it's not, what's getting crowded around here, and it's a great thing for the sport,
Right.
but it is, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, it is not always the best thing for the dogs, but it has been, from my experience, better for the sport because it is allowing people to go to more hunts. There's more availability to run puppies, and what you're seeing now is a lot more diversity from these pens popping up all over the place. And I'm, from a broke dog guy, a fox pen is my worst enemy.
Yeah.
Truly, it breaks my heart to see a gray fox get put in a fox pen. It really does.
I understand that.
For a lot of different reasons. I'm sure most could understand why.
Yeah.
The reds would not hurt my feelings at all if they was nothing but red fox pens.
Right.
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 And the cows, but I have noticed, with the smaller pens, it's a lot different because now what you're having is, man, it's still February, right? No, March 1st.
March, yeah, first, yep.
I seen there was a hunt the other day for July and younger puppies.
Yeah. I can't even fathom. I cannot even fathom. My dogs ain't even broke by that time.
I just don't. I don't understand. I get the pen owner's perspective, and I get their perspective on shutting off and putting in the game. But it's a frustrating thing that I wish we could kind of figure out how to go a little better of a direction sometimes. But like I said, it is you can't complain, but so much because I think it really is good for the sport.
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
I agree. It is a growing thing. I think, in my opinion, you see a lot of negativity about, kids not going hunting. Well, I don't know where they're from, but
you take them to a fox pen, they got every opportunity in the world to do it.
It's way bigger than when I was in high school. I can tell you that. Because I live in a place where there was 6 dog clubs around me, and they're non-existent now. So I think in my county, you can count maybe 8 people with running dogs.
Right.
So you talking about? We've been through what y'all are going through now, but ours, basically got cut out. But it was from, it wasn't, from the state. Now, if you go an hour on the other side of me, whole different ball game. You know, you're getting back in dog country.
Yeah. And see, we're on the flip side of the pens, than y'all. Virginia's got this, you can't build them, you can't sell them, you can't do nothing. It's whatever's in, it's grandfathered in, and y'all just hang on for the rest of the stint. And, excuse me, I feel so bad for people in Virginia that are trying to get into fox pens, trying to get into competition field trials, because it is a very small amount of people that are doing it, for the sheer fact of when you try to get in, and it took a long time and a lot of determination and just keeping my head on straight. And this is what I tell everybody is, excuse me, you can't let the first year, 2 years, maybe even 3 years of trying to get in bother you. You're going to get told no a lot because there's just no room. There's no room. Yeah, I think there's maybe, and somebody will probably correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I don't think it's but like 20-something fox pens in the state.
Really?
And and I know probably at least over half of those, probably 70% of those are the same people run them every night of the week, and there's no getting in. There's absolutely no getting in. Then you'd have your fewer, bigger pens that run hunts and stuff like that. But
That's
you
tough.
got your normal guys that get in, but still during the off season, there's no getting in. You got to let them restock. It's a, it's a lot of, how do I say it? It's a lot of crow eating to get to where you can run on the regular at a fox pen. You got to be willing to help out without any reward for a year or two, and then just wait for it. It's coming. That's what I tell people all the time. But I do feel really bad for people up here that are trying to get in because it's tough. It really is tough. But
yeah, that there would be pretty frustrating. Yeah, and
it
like
is.
I said, I mean, down here is completely opposite. It is.
Right.
I mean, I know
Just take your pick down there.
3 different pens that got built in the last since December.
Jesus.
3. And I'm being funny. They know who they are. You probably couldn't put all of them together and make them the size of one of y'all's, but they are. They're getting put up more and more every day, and I think that it is. That is the one thing that is very crucial to y'all. If y'all when y'all can't build any more pens, man, that's devastating almost.
We're hoping and praying that maybe soon we'll be able to flip that, but that's a whole nother ball game. We'll talk about HB1396 here in a few minutes and kind of give the scoop on all that, but I guess Maddie's probably got you running ragged with these puppies and these hunts and stuff. What any kind of big hunts y'all got prepped coming up for? Anything y'all are looking forward to? All right, guys, another quick break real quick. The Hounds Tales Podcast is proud to partner again with Low 10 Outfitters. If your kennel is looking for new apparel to rock to the next field trial, look no further than Low 10 Outfitters. They offer shirts, hats, hoodies, coats, and other accessories with custom logos for your kennel or your hound on it to go with it. With top quality merchandise and long-lasting quality, you can't go wrong with Low 10 Outfitters. And very soon, actually right now, we are offering Hounds Tales Podcast apparel on their website at low10outfitters.com. So please go by and check it out. There's a whole section in there under in one of the tabs as for the Hounds Tales Podcast. Get shirts, hats. We're talking about maybe adding some other stuff, but need to see if we can get some movement on the shirts and hats to start. But also, if you're looking for trophies for your next field trial, be sure to check Low 10 Outfitters out as well. So these guys have been great to deal with. Mr. Gonzalez and them, they do a great job, fast turnaround, top quality equipment, and you just can't ask for better, guys. I want to thank them again for coming on board with the Hounds Tales Podcast, and I won't hold you all up anymore again. Let's get y'all back to your episode, guys.
Oh my! Oh.
Well, I know y'all are coming up here to the Masters.
Yes, that's the one with the banquet, correct?
Yes, correct. Yep.
Yes, I've been voluntold to go to that one. Of course, her daddy, Chad Leggett, is putting on the buggy truck hunt.
Right.
If you have not been to that, even if you don't have dogs, I suggest just go.
Yep.
It is probably one of the better hunts that you will go to. One reason that I like it is the amount of people that are there from so many different places.
Yeah.
That is very competitive. It's like putting all of the big dogs in one pot and stirring it.
Right. It really is.
That is right up my alley there. It is very, very stout competition. But the people that you meet there, I think last year was either 12 or 14 different states of people that were there. So I know you got his, and that is in, I think it's the weekend before the 4th of July.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I'm assuming she's going to want to go to the truck hunt at Ross's. I'll have to go find somebody's 401k to get into for that one.
Right.
But And I'm sure that those puppies that she's running now. I think she said she was going to give them a little bit of a break, but I'm sure we'll want to pop up here shortly that she's wanting to go to.
Nice. Now, y'all are just for the Masters. Y'all coming up, and I think y'all are supposed to be judging. Am I
Yeah,
understanding
I'm a
correct?
judge.
Gotcha. Very nice.
Yeah. And she, the banquet part of it, she's got to go to, and I told her, I said,
Right.
"While we're up there, you might as well just, help judge." So
Yeah, they're right.
we're going.
They definitely need the help. That's for sure. Any excuse me, as big as that pen is, any help is better than none.
Well, I was thinking and laughing at somebody the other day. We were actually hunting. I said, if they take four of us, I'd cover that whole pen. I'd cover half of it by myself. And I was joking because I
Right,
really
right.
couldn't, but because I have a lot of respect for the older guys
Yeah.
that are still judging. I think without them, none of it would really go on. But uh, that there's a crowd of younger ones that could get after it really, and
Yeah.
I feel like me personally that it probably break the pen record not because of the dogs, because of us.
Right.
Well,
Right.
we're just so used to getting in there with them. It's more like with the broke dogs, it's kind of like a high powered rabbit race.
Yeah.
They're going back and forth, around and around, and an 1,800 acre pen is huge, but it's still not
Well,
terrible.
800 acre. 800 acre.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's only 800. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably cover 3/4 of it. I'm lying. I'd probably go. I bet I wouldn't get a score. I just
I was
blame it on
gonna
the
say
dog.
you
I
better.
just blame it on the dog.
I'm gonna let you. I'm not gonna let you live that one down.
You can. There's one thing my pride won't let me do, and that's to go up there and be the one with the least amount of scores. That's a fact.
I'm gonna call you every day and say, "All right, how many did you get today?"
One. I
Right.
just say, well, the dog stuttered away at the road, so it wasn't my fault. I
There
could
you
have
go.
scored 9.
Right. Hey, it happens too. That ain't no
Yeah.
joke.
But I pride myself on that now, for us, because I do enjoy judging. I do pride myself on being the one that gets after it. I really
Right.
do.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So yeah, that's our next big hunt. I think we're going to hit a 1 day at pools this coming up weekend. Go up there, just get the dogs in, do a little test and tune, kind of get them to show us who wants to put points on the board, who doesn't want to put points on the board, kind of deal. And then we'll be prepping for the Masters. And then I think we're going to hit the Mastering and the Southern Classic if we can get some numbers for that as well. So that's kind of where our head's at. Hit both of them. They're back-to-back weekends. So we're going to split up between the kennel partners and do that. Then after that, I have to go back and look at the calendar, to be honest with you. We don't do a whole lot of 1 days. We may hit a couple one-offers and stuff like that, but we kind of focus primarily on the multi-day hunt. So I think we'll be looking towards Memorial Day weekend again, I'm sure. Been talking about going down to Paul and the Caskies pen down there, maybe going to the Big Rock and checking that out. I ain't made it down there yet, so when I got into field trialing and I seen how far this stuff stretched out, I said that's going to be a goal of mine every year. Every year I want to go to a new pen. That's my goal every year, is to go to a new pen. Last year, oh man, what did we try new last year? Well, we didn't really try nothing new last year. We did kind of drop the ball on that, but we did make it down to Sellhorns. We did kind of go off the beaten path a little bit there. Year before that, we did we went down 95. We went down for the buggy hunt. That was right after I made a champion. My ego was just as big as you could ever
I'm up
ask for,
there.
and it got shut up real quick at that hunt. Let me tell you, shut up real quick. I thought I was going to go down there and hang with the big boys, and I got my feelings hurt, brother. Let me tell you, that place put a hurting on me.
Oh yeah, that is a very, very. That's a tough pen to run in.
It is.
It
It
is.
is.
It's tough on 'em. You got to have a dog that is just ranked tough.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. But and other big news that we've got going on. I'm sure people probably saw me posting earlier last week, and here recently, but me and the wife are expecting baby number 2 on the way. So new kennel partner will be joining us in August. We're pretty excited about that. So that is going to be one of the reasons we're going to do things a little different this year with the podcast. That's why, for one, I'm thankful for you coming on as well. You get kind of give me a little bit of a break, so that'll be a big help on my end. But not only that is, we're going to cut it off at the end of September this year. Just once October hits, man, the way the numbers were falling and the way things just get busy and busy and busy, it was one of those things I talked about. I thought about for a long time, and then talked with all the partners, and we just kind of got it set in our brains, and we're going to do just the. We're going to do it to the end of September, then we'll get a nice long break again. We'll pick it back up beginning of the following year. So, so right now I want to kind of dive into something big that's going on here in Virginia. I'm sure you've seen, it's kind of what all my posts have been about here lately. I hate being like that. That's never what I necessarily designated the podcast and the podcast page for, was being all the political side of everything. But HB1396 up here in Virginia, it's a bill. I should have done a better job of having it out and presented, but I want to talk about the grand scheme of it. So it's going to make a permit process that you have to buy an additional permit up here in Virginia to run dogs. That does not mean just owning dogs and running your dogs. It means hunting over dogs as well. So if you are a member of the club, if you're running dogs of your own, if you are hunting over somebody else's dogs, no matter what the case, you got to have a permit to be able to come and run those dogs and run and shoot dogs, shoot game over those dogs. Which, in the grand scheme of things, it's not a big deal. They're talking about a $19 permit on top of that, which, okay, sure, we can get behind that. We do have a lot of open fears about a permit system being introduced in Virginia. We are afraid of Georgia law. We are afraid of a number of different things. And I hate to fearmonger. I hate to lead by fear, but you do also have to be prepared for these things. But the biggest thing that we are concerned on with this bill is it also includes hound dog trespass. This will make it, the way it's worded is, if your dogs are in pursuit of a fur-bearing animal. It does exclude a couple of groups, mounted fox hunters, bird dogs, and I think maybe one other group, and I should have done a better job here of having that information at hand that I did not. But for the most part, any fur-bearing animal or nuisance species, you will have to have this permit not only to run those, but if your dog is caught on a landowner's property without written or verbal permission, you are subject to a civil penalty of, I believe it's $50 the first time and up to $250 the second time, and any time after that, with reoccurring instances after that could lead to a loss of hunting license, and that is also within a 3-year period. So here's the biggest thing for me is there's so many open ends to this. There's so many loopholes. There's so many questions that are being presented that I don't think the DWR, the state, is ready for. For one, they don't have the manpower. The DWR has a hard time keeping up with everything anyway here in Virginia. Now we're getting ready to throw in another regulation, another law that they have to enforce that is going to be left to interpretation. It's going to be left to how can you prove it? What are you doing to prove it? And that kind of stuff. And we're getting to a point of with the permit, and I think this is something the DWR has to figure out. I mean, the only way that makes sense for them to try to do it is when you get a permit, you have to have a ID number that would be presented on your truck and a ID number that would be presented on all dogs while they were out. Um, so again, starting to lean more towards Georgia rule. Georgia rule is not something, and a lot of the antis, a lot of the guys that want this bill to pass keep talking about Georgia rule is okay, Georgia rule this, Georgia rule that is fine, it works down there. Georgia and Virginia are not the same. We're not the same layout, we're not the same land, we're not the same breakdown of how the land is. It will not work here in Virginia. Will not. There's no chance of it working here in Virginia. That discussion can just be dropped. I think the biggest negative side effect of this bill, if it was to pass, it is not passed yet as of time that we are recording this. It could be changed by time we get to Wednesday when we are dropping this episode. But if this passes, you're talking about taking a chance of, while I'm at work and a storm comes through and a tree limb falls on my lot, have a jailbreak. The dogs get out, they go running, they go run a deer or a fox or whatever the case may be, and they go on Billy Bob's laying down the road. He catches them, calls it in. Now I'm at work and I just got a civil penalty because of a jailbreak that I had no idea was even happening. That's not irresponsible dog ownership. That is a mistake. That is a accident that there's no answer for. There's no real answer to how that can be right in any eyes. I also think about the young kid that's trying to get into the sport. Not only does he already have to worry about buying the dogs, buying dog food, putting up a fox pen, buying a truck, buying a dog box, buying a GPS, buying a Garmin collar, learning the land, getting into a club, all this kind of stuff. Now, every time he takes his dogs out, he's got to worry about a freaking penalty that could cost him money at 16 years old. I mean, another $250 if it happens twice, you know? I mean, you tell me. At 16-year-old, how good were you at stopping your dogs from going across the street? Exactly. Right? You know?
That's tough.
Right. You know, that's what I'm saying, man. It's I don't care if you did hunt since you were four. I don't care if you hunted since you were knee high to a duck, whatever you want to call it. When you get in your own truck and you're controlling your own dogs, it's a learning curve.
Absolutely.
It's a learning curve. And you can say it just as well as I can that is not something that you just pick up right away on how to make that happen.
I agree. I really feel sorry for y'all when it comes to what y'all are fighting. I know, I'm from South Carolina. There's been several of us that has been calling and emailing too. I don't know if they I don't know if they accept it or not, but there is a crowd of people that's really trying to help y'all that is not even from there. Because we really do. We feel sorry for y'all. It ain't right. It ain't fair. And y'all are fighting something generally that we don't really have to deal with, especially being a Democratic state. No fault to y'all, but I mean, we don't really, we have to fight more internal or a little closer to home. But I've got some advice on it and a lot of opinions that I probably wouldn't, a lot of people might not care to hear. But one thing I did want to speak on that is, if you're not in the Virginia or South Carolina or North, whatever state you live in, man, if you're not in your alliance and you enjoy dogs, I really hate to say it like this, but I ain't saying you the problem, but you need to be you need to join the fight with the rest of us.
Right.
If you care whatsoever at all, it's time to strap up your boots, put on your lunchbox, whatever you got to do.
Right.
It's time to get involved.
Yep.
5 years ago, I could see where somebody just kept blowing it off, but it's that time. I will say it's gone. It is time for, I think, everyone to get involved and start asking real questions, making legitimate arguments.
Right.
Because I've noticed, I'm kind of snoopy sometimes. I go on y'all got a landowner versus dog hunter page, I guess. And
Right. Right.
the absurd comments on there. Just,
Oh yeah.
and when I say absurd, the lack of knowledge that some of these people have, I
Yep.
would push the Virginia Alliance to do a true study. The complaints that are happening, 5% or whatever it is.
Less
First
than
of all,
that. Yep.
if dog hunters are causing less than 5% of problems,
Right.
there's no need for further. But I mean that was mind blowing to me. But truly, how many people are claiming that these dogs are on their land and it's Timmy's yard dog down there that they moved down from wherever they were and they don't even know what a hunt dog is? One.
Yep.
I mean, I can't even fathom the amount of posts that I seen this year with no tracking collar, no hunting collar, and it was like, keep your hunting dogs off my land. And I'm like, that
It's not a
hunting
hunting
dog
dog.
raised in the backyard yonder and it's been there his whole life.
Right.
That ain't somebody's hunting dog. And just the absurd comments, and it's not really their fault. They don't know,
Right.
and from what I've learned, dealing with the highways and hunting around people is to talking to people.
Yep. Yep.
You've got to talk to people.
Right.
You've
Right.
got to really, really try to get along with them.
Yep.
But man, the main thing is I don't see many of us that's not doing our part. Really,
Right. Right.
I can name a handful of people that that it's not. But
Yep.
I think the main thing is to start fighting with a legitimate argument back, other than
Right.
dogs don't read signs.
Right. Right. Right.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I brought that up in my hunting club meeting today, and that's the first thing a couple of them said. I said
I'm
that
so sick of
excuse
hearing
doesn't
that.
work anymore.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
come up. I really wish somebody would do a study, and I made the comment about Garmin, and somebody said they don't care about us. I don't know how many callers you got. I got 15. I did the math, and about 100 people worth. The amount of dogs, the amount of people that have got dogs and use Garmin, I just can't imagine they would say, I don't care about 50 million. I don't care how many billions they got.
I've heard, and I kind of go back and forth on that. Most of their money comes from airplanes and airplane equipment. Um,
Oh, I'm sure.
and
I mean,
yeah,
they're a big, 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 big company, and
right.
we are the smaller version.
Yes, we are the bottom of the barrel of their, which is crazy to think because your number's probably spot on. It's probably
Oh,
millions
it's
and millions and
millions.
millions.
It's way
Yeah,
it's way over 4 or 5 billion.
right.
I can promise that.
Yeah,
What I can't promise is, and I don't know how this would even work, but it's definitely something that needs to be discussed. Like our South Carolina Lights, we hire a lobbyist, but could you hire somebody to, figure out exactly how much money y'all are bringing into Virginia?
so
How critical would it affect Virginia
so
if the
I don't.
dog hunt went away?
Well, I even made, that was my, because the next step for this bill is the financial committee for the Senate. This is where we're hoping it dies. I did a rough number on this, and this is extremely rough because I did not include the mom and pop shops that are selling stuff, that are selling hunting equipment, that are selling shotgun shells, that are selling food at lunch. I'm sure every club, every person that's ever dog hunted that I've ever talked to at lunch, there's a local store that all them dog hunters are going to get food at. And heck, probably
In the
50%
morning
of them are
time.
going to get breakfast at the same daggone local store. The amount of beer sales after the day is over would
Yeah,
drop.
that is
I
a
mean,
fact.
so the numbers that I had was $118 million. $118 million from dog hunters. We're estimated at 65,000 dog hunters in the state of Virginia. So that is based off of one bag of dog food a week. That is based off of, let me see, what else did I add in there? Gas for the week and hunting license. That's it. Gas, hunting license, and dog food for one bag of dog food a week, which I feed four or five bag of dog food a week. God only knows how many others out there in the state are feeding 4 or 5 bags of dog food. So just in the 65,000 with one bag of dog food a week, hunt license, and gas, you're looking at $118 million. $118 million. If those 65,000 had to buy a extra permit for $19, let me see. Let me find that number. You're looking at just over right at $1 million for permits. So here's where the fun math was for me in this situation.
Oh, I'm doing some in my head right now. You
Yeah,
have opened up a can of worms here.
yeah. If if this regulation passes, okay, and say I'm done, I'm not taking the chance. I got my first $50 fine. I don't have an extra $250 just sitting around for every chance. I've already got caught once. I had an accident. I got a slip up. I can't afford another slip up. I'm done. I'm selling out. I won't ever deer dog hunt again. I won't hunt nothing like that, which is in the end what these antis want. But if I did that, I'm out. Okay. So take me out of the equation. If 668 dog hunters did the same thing out of the 65,000 that are out there, then the state breaks even on the added license, the added fee. So for them to consider this, and their angle at this thing was about money and a created revenue, that can get shot down right now because you're only adding $1 million without pissing anybody off. And the amount of law enforcement that it's going to take to control this kind of thing, you're talking about a salary of 65 to 70,000, I think is what DWR, a game warden is making now, somewhere in that 55 to 65 range. So even at that point, you're only adding 20 new officers, but you forgot to add in the fact of you got to buy all of them a brand new car that has to be replaced every 4 or 5 years. So, there's another 60 to 70,000 per car. So you could roughly say you might get 9 to 10 more law enforcement officers off of this bill. Do you think that's actually going to make a difference? It's not. It's not. What kind of numbers are you crunching over there? That's what I want to
Dude,
know.
so I didn't realize that y'all, the 65,000. Have you done the math of just one Garmin collar for 65,000 people?
That's a lot of money.
And we the small scope for Garmin?
Yeah.
That's hard for me to believe.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe it. That ain't what I'm saying. It's just
Yep.
one Garmin collar. That's no handheld with it.
Yep.
Nothing. One Garmin collar is 20 million,
Yep.
just in the state
Well,
of Virginia.
do it on a tracking box because maybe those
That was my
65,000.
next. That was my next number.
Yeah.
What's the handheld now? 700, 750?
I think a handheld's like 700, 750, something like
We're
that.
just gonna say it's 700 times
Yeah.
65,000. That's 45 million.
45 million. So it says 65 million in government sales in a one collar and one
For one
and one
state.
tracking box
One
for one
state.
state. Yep.
You can't tell me that they can justify any of that. There's
Right.
no
They
way.
can't. They can't. They can't. They
I,
really can't. And I don't know. I think, and I don't have any way to prove this, and I will probably be executed for even saying this, but I think there are other parties in the background on this that are using the landowners as pawns.
oh, absolutely. 100%.
I think there is commercialized deer hunting trying to make their way into Virginia that is making there's no way the little amount of landowners that are actually mad about this, because you can go on any one of those pages, any one of those Facebook pages, and there's no more than a couple hundred people that follow those pages. And of those couple hundred, I bet half of them are dog hunters that are just trying to stay informed.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my, I mean, I don't, I think what they have done now is open up a can of worms when they started talking about the money, because I don't think nobody's ever put that together. Me, I kept up with what I spent on dogs for like a month, and I quit because I didn't want to think about it
You
anymore.
don't want to know no more.
Don't want to know, man. I mean, that's the truth. But I think what they have done, I mean, if they have really brought up the money thing, man, that is a very good, great leg for you to stand on fighting wise.
Yep.
Because I mean, I'm by no means knocking how someone hunts, but if we're gonna talk about money wise, and I ain't even gonna put the laziness in there because I'm not gonna be petty, but just money wise from a steel hunter or landowner versus a dog hunter, dude, that ain't even comparable.
Yeah. No, not at all. Not at all. I had somebody comment on the status that I made. I shared that, that the email that I sent, and I had somebody comment. I said they're like, I'd like to see the number of taxes that the landowner pays versus the amount that a dog owner spends, and I'm like, you're
It ain't
comparing
close.
apples to freaking watermelons at this point. I mean,
That's
good
why I was talking
God.
about the uninformed, just people that just they don't have a clue.
No, no, no. And I did. It's comments like that I don't even justify an answer on. But you made a good point earlier. Not that we could get wrapped up in this and talk about this for another hour and a half, but there's something that houndsmen need to do, and you made a good point of getting into the fight. Every single one of us just wants to turn our dogs loose, have fun, go hunt, have a good time with everybody, and do it. But this is not 1995 no more. This is not the 80s. We're not just everybody gets along, goes along. Not everybody knows their neighbors anymore. I think that's where the hound hunter community has failed in the past 10 to 20 years, is we have let the town, the county, your land grow around you and forgot about being human, about being a neighbor, about going out and meeting these people and talking to these people. Maybe some of you can't talk to. I'm not saying you got to make friends with the devil. I'm not saying that. And Jesus Christ, that's a big bug on your wall. That thing is massive.
I got him in a bottle for you, Matty. You want one? That is huge.
I thought it was something on the screen. It's like,
We
what
kept
is...
looking, and I was like, I bet that fella ain't as big as what it looks like on that camera.
But anyway, so I'm not editing that out either. That was funny. That's gonna stay in.
Send it on. Send it on.
But you're looking for dog hunting apparel to rock to your next event. Visit dogtight.com and check out the lines of shirts, hoodies, and hats, just like this one up here on my head that I'm wearing right now, with looks that fit our style, comfort that is unmatched, and supporting another houndsman as well. Get your Dog Tight swag today and use the discount code Hounds Tales 15. That's HOUNDSTALES and the number 15 at the end to get 15% off your order. Now, let's finish up this episode, guys. I promise, right here at the end of it. Thanks, y'all, for holding on tight with me. That I think that's probably the biggest thing, and I'm guilty of it. We probably all are guilty of it. We just failed as a hound hunting community to stay neighbors with people. I remember as a kid, it wasn't very often that we did it, but if we had extra deer meat at the end of the season, we took some to the landowners. We took some to the guys that were like, "Yeah, y'all come on, y'all can shoot deer," or "Yeah, you can go get your dog," whatever. We made right by it. We just didn't say, "Hey, thanks," and then never see them again. You know, that I think is something that we have lost, and I think that's a stem of our problem. Is just, for one, we're not being as friendly as we used to, not being neighbors like we used to. And I'm not calling everybody out on this. This is not a blanket statement, but I think it is something that I see, including our own club, that we could improve on. Um, And, I think people just need to quit with this mindset of, oh, they've been trying to take it since 1993. We ain't got to worry about it. They try every year and it's not going anywhere. Guess what, guys? They are mounting up. They're stronger than frickin' ever, and they're coming.
A different world.
It's a different world we live in. You're 100% correct. So,
I kind of think that goes both ways, though. I mean,
correct.
I don't think people realize how deep the dog community goes. I
Right.
for certain didn't.
Right.
And social media has helped me with that. But man, when you start talking about coon dogs and deer dogs and then
Right.
field trial dog, I mean, we are talking about a whole different can of worms and how many people is actually involved and
Right.
how big we could actually be
Right.
stronger, united.
Yep.
And man, just simple as punching in the numbers right there. Me, for
Yep.
one, didn't know that. And I know you said yours is off of one bag of dog food a week. I would love to feed one bag of dog food a week.
Me too.
I love.
Me
I mean, it ain't even.
too.
I mean, I don't. I quit counting. I don't want to
Right.
know because
Right.
I mean, there's 51, 52 here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
I mean that adds up.
Yeah.
But and just to kind of, I did want to say one thing about the talking to people. Uh, there's a guy that I learned from. I value his opinion a lot. He kind of taught me how to talk to people, how to knock on doors, and I can remember when I was younger, being really nervous to go do it,
Right.
and when I was at that age, I was like, man, why is he making me go talk to this person? But I,
Right.
I didn't really realize what he was really putting and instilling in me was just
Right.
in a grand scheme of things was he was kind of even protecting the sport then
Mm-hmm.
just by that. But I mean, he every day when we get done hunting, he's going around giving watermelons to people or
Right.
oranges or whatever. I mean, he's knocking on these people's doors and talking to them. They know his face. They know who he is. They know what he's done. He's not hiding from them, and I don't think there's many dog men that truly hide like people think they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, that I know of. I mean, I can name a few, but
Yeah. 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 Of course.
I mean, out of the thousands that there is, man, I mean, they're on, well above average. They are really great people that are doing the right thing.
Right.
I think there's just so much misunderstanding from a lot of different standpoints. One, just the uneducated fact about dog hunting in general.
Yeah.
Simply because of people that's moved here that's never been around it. They really don't
Right.
understand.
Right.
Like I heard somebody talking about, because we can shoot from the roadways. It was unsafe.
Yeah.
I've never. I don't know how many times. Have you ever really heard of an incident, somebody dog hunting getting shot, or like getting hurt, or
Not on a miscommunication end. I've heard of it on a misfire end, but not as far as anything as
I
far
thought you
as
were
like
gonna say getting shot, getting mad, getting shot.
well, that might happen
Yeah,
too,
that
but
might happen too, but no, just I can't foresee, like with us, you stand on the same side of the road as the person, but I mean, I guess we were taught and raised different. I don't see how
Yep.
that's unsafe at all. What I wouldn't want to do is be in the woods where I didn't know where everybody was at.
Right.
I don't want them in the woods shooting back towards the road. I mean,
Right.
let's just say that I've got all my tags. I'm tagged out. Well,
Right.
there's a law that you got to be 300 feet in the woods.
Right.
Well, what's to say that he don't turn around and shoot towards the road and he don't know where
Exactly.
I'm at? I want to see him.
Right.
I want
Right.
to be in the road with him. I want to know exactly where he's at, and I think that's just one small example of the misunderstanding.
Yep.
And I think what I'm really trying to get at is quit fighting with dogs. Don't read trespassing signs.
Yes.
You know,
That
be a
it
little
does
bit
not work.
smarter and fight with some education in a very very respectful manner. But you know
There's
that's getting a
enough
little played out.
information and enough stats out there for people to go on there and
Absolutely.
look and find this information and say, all right, well, daggone, now I'm educated on this. I can use this and say, hey, look, this is why, this is what's going on, this is what we're doing. And even just being a friendly neighbor, like you're talking about, I know times are different. I know nobody has time for anything anymore. But even if it's a weekend where the club gets together, they load up fruits, vegetables, whatever the heck, deer meat, I don't care what it is, just whatever the case may be, and just go knock on doors and say, hey, we're so and so hunting club, just wanted to stop by, thank you for being a good neighbor, and, would you like some of this? Something simple as that.
Absolutely. I think that would go a long way.
Yep. Yeah. But well, guys, we'll try to keep you in the loop. Like I said, this is being recorded the weekend before it's supposed to be voted on. I don't know how it's going to end. I'm very cautiously hopeful on this, but we will definitely see how this goes. But I want to take a change here, and our last talking point. This is a big one for you. So I'm going to let you kind of take the reins here. There's a big hunt coming in December that I will let you take the reins on. This is your baby, so go ahead and tell us all about it and what it is.
Yeah, it's definitely my baby, and she is getting pregnant. It's getting heavy and getting heavy quick. Oh, so what's going on December? First weekend of December. It is called the Cross and Crown Classic. It is a 3-day hunt. For anybody listening, it's 5-minute Master GTP. If you don't know what that is, I love you, but you probably don't. I'm not meaning that in any disrespectful way at all, but and I say that because I mean some people was kind of contacting me thinking it was a coon hunt. It is not a coon hunt. This is a whole different side of things.
Right.
Um, but just to kind of get that out of the way, the ideal started I don't know sometime last year out of a greedy mindset to make money, just because I seen everybody else doing it, and I said that it started out the ideal that way, and recently, since my life has evolved with Christ, I have recently changed a lot of my ways. And this is kind of my way of giving back, or kind of walking my walk. I would say. Um, we'll start with this. All the proceeds after expenses and money paid out will 100% get paid out to the South Carolina Dog Hunt Association and the Low Country Child of Dreams. For
Love that.
anybody that does not know, the Low Country Child of Dreams is a foundation that helps kids that I don't know how to respectful way to say this. Their dying wish dreams, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying that all of them die or they about to die next week but these
Right.
kids are in very very critical condition, and that this is actually something that I learned from Maddie. Their club does it, and it's very big down her way. And when I found out about it, man, my heart kind of broke for them.
Mm-hmm.
So what I would love to do is have some of the kids at the hunt. I would love for that to happen, because this is an eye-opening thing, man. We are spoiled.
Right.
You know what these kids go through, and just how positive they are in life. You know, some of them probably going to see some unJesus things, but they're full of fire, man. They're really good kids. I'm excited about it. And you know, of course, the Dog Hunting Alliance, I was wanting to donate some there as well.
It's a good add-on. Absolutely.
But that's the main reason it happened. And I guess the second thing that kind of gave me a little confidence was a lot of prayer and you know, some confirmation. And then the third thing was a puppy hunt for July and younger puppies. I was just so sick of seeing it. I mean, and I'm not knocking what they're doing by no means. Like I said, I think it's a great thing for the sport, but you know, not always great for the dogs. But there's an older guy that's mentored me, and he says you got to give a little to get a little, and that's one of those things.
Right.
You know, for a lot of the guys that are more closed-minded of how I kind of used to be, and you know, I guess the outside guys, you know, kind of take some of this stuff with a grain of salt and realize what we're dealing with, and you know where we're going. You know, it is not 1990 anymore. And we are doing the best we can just to enjoy what we can. So, you know, for a lot of those guys, kind of just take it with a grain of salt and understand, you know, where we're trying to go, you know, as a whole. So I am not picking on the smaller pens and smaller puppy hunts. I do wish they would make a puppy hunt 12 months and younger. But that's just an opinion.
We got those up here now. We do have those up here.
Yeah. Nobody crucify me by no means, but I mean, when you say puppy, man, 12 months is a puppy.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. We got those up here. I will give us that. Most of our puppy hunts are that older class, usually 12 months and younger. Then the younger class is like 10 and younger. So.
Yeah, be thankful. Be thankful. Yeah. It's crazy to me. But anyway, so the Cross and Crown Classic, it is going to be a 3-day event, first weekend of December in Swainsboro, Georgia.
Right.
What I would like to do, and I would also love some feedback from this. I know originally, as we're recording this, actually, I posted a number auction today.
Yep, saw
that. I would love, and I haven't gotten 100% all ideals out, you know, completely. I know I said I was going to do the dog Calcutta, but I would love to have some sort of a small banquet or conversion with the dog Calcutta with raffles combined to be able to donate a little bit more to these two foundations. Because I don't know exactly how much is going to be left over after prizes, because my number one priority for the hunters, I want it to be something that is well-deserved and well-compensated. I want the best dog to win, and I want the best dogs in the country there. And I'm not saying no to anyone. I'm just saying I want the best competition there, and that was the only way I knew to get them there. Anybody would be crazy not to go compete for that. I mean, that's a really good payout. And I want them, you know, compensated. You know, you got puppies winning trucks. You got 1-day 3-hour hunts winning trucks, and you know Chris Ross's 1 hour 5, the 1-day 5-hour running a truck, which is probably a real prestige hunt. And then you got Chad's hunt that is really good. But other than that, man, the 3-day dogs get nothing.
Yeah, there's no high payout 3 days right now.
And in my opinion, that is the hardest thing to accomplish. I think anyone that started out with hounds, and even if you don't field trial, would be to have a champion.
Yep.
You know, that is the ultimate title of any dog man, is a champion. And I think it's the hardest to obtain, and I just felt sorry for them because they get the least rewarded. And the guys that are doing it are strictly doing it out of love for it. And I think it is a great time to, you know, compensate those guys, because I can promise you, people, you know, I've had some people talk about the money. Well, the guys that love it and are doing it for the sport is the ones that's going to win it.
That's right.
I mean, if you come and you think that you can run 3 days with these guys that I think should show up,
You better have your
you
big
better
boy
have your
britches on.
britches on. You better tighten them up because the judges is gonna judge. We gonna be there. Every as long as everything lines up, nobody dies between here and there, and it happens, and a storm don't blow the pin away.
Right.
Well, your dog's gonna get seen. It can't hide,
Yep.
and you're gonna be compensated if you can compete with these guys. And that's
Right.
that's the main thing to it. I want the best dog to win, and I don't really see how it won't. With the amount of judges that I think, I'm pretty sure that I've got lined out for it to happen.
What are you shooting for as judges?
50.
50. Yeah.
I've had probably 100 call me wanting to judge.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
And I didn't even talk about the judging part of it. I'm also giving away, just to clarify some up too. Excuse me. There will be, when you get one entry, one dog entry will get one chance to win a surprise box. That's what we're gonna call a surprise box. And each judge will get one entry to a surprise box. So two separate raffles here. So judges is
Right.
on one. They got their own surprise box, and the hunters has got theirs. So even
Right.
if you come to the hunt and you are 300 out of 300,
Right.
you've got a chance to win a $45 to $5,000 worth of something.
Nice.
I have thought about doing custom-made dog boxes or
Nice.
cheap side by side. I haven't don't exactly know what the surprise box is yet, so don't
Right,
crucify
right.
me. But
Right.
the price will be between $45 and $5,000. That will get drawn out for anybody that has an entry to a dog. And you can also, I've thought about, if you want to buy tickets to get put in it too, I thought about doing that. But the judges will not. It'll be straight one
Straight
ticket,
whatever,
one judge. You don't buy into
Yeah.
theirs because those guys are the only way that's going to happen.
That's right.
And for me, I judge because I want to. But I can see how some of these guys are probably get tired of getting caught every weekend.
Right. I'm sure.
I mean, I would get aggravated
sure.
with it after a while.
Yeah. That's a whole nother talking point right there.
Yeah. And I just seen where some guys are starting to take care of them. And from me as a judging standpoint, I want them well taken care of. I want them to feel like they owe the hunters a reason to break a sweat. That's what I want them to feel like.
Now. That's awesome.
Putting a dent in the cooler just ain't gonna cut it. And if that's kind of your mindset is I'm just gonna sit there and look through some long guys for 3 days,
Right.
that really ain't gonna cut it.
That ain't gonna cut it. Yeah.
You're getting compensated, but I want you to work.
Yeah. So you get after it, kind of deal.
Get after it. Because the judges is getting a lot of it too.
Right.
Well,
That's right.
They get paid. On top of the surprise box, they're getting well taken care of.
Good.
I made it to where I feel like if I went to compete, I felt like it was fair and above what I deserved, and I felt like if I was judging, I made it to where it was worth my time spending away from my family and going and justifying to your wife, hey, I can go spend $500.
Right.
I'm trying to help you out here.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a little leeway here.
Yeah, I mean,
It's $500, but look at what I could win.
Right. And if you don't fuss about me running 2 or 3 times a week, I've got a real shot to win.
Right.
And I understand $500 ain't chump change to a lot of people. That's why I wanted to get it out early.
Yeah.
From now to December. So there's plenty of time to save up $500 for
There you
now.
go. There you go. So, well, man, that's awesome, dude. I love the idea. I love the idea of, like you said, it's not the one day dogs ain't getting all the love now as far as the big prizes. Now, I'm sure, that's not. The big prize is not what a lot of the guys do the 3-day hunts for, but now at least they have the opportunity. If this is what you want to go do, you want to go explore it, you want to go prove that you're the best, now you got a whole nother reason to go now. So
Well, the
I love it,
one,
man. I really I hope it works out for you, and I'm pretty excited to see where it goes. And it's I think it's going to be if it goes well, you're gonna have to keep doing it. I can tell you that. So
oh yeah, I
hope you,
hope it's an every year thing. I really do. But we'll see.
yeah,
We'll
absolutely.
see the amount of people that show up.
That's right.
It's either it'll work or it won't. I mean, it's out of my hands now. The cat's out of the bag. So either
That's it.
I wish I was on the other end of it. I'd sure be getting
I
ready
tell
for it.
you,
And I don't
trust
feel
me, I know what
tall,
you
but
mean.
I would sure be looking for something. I can tell you that. I would bust
Trust
my
me, brother.
butt.
I know exactly what you mean. But well, man, I think that we're getting close to about 2 hours on here now. So I think we hit all of our talking points. You got anything else that you want to add to it before I tease our next week's episode?
I'm sure I did, but I forgot.
It happens, but that's all right. You'll be back on soon enough.
Yep. Yep.
Well, man, I'm very, very excited to have you on board. Can't wait to see how the hunt goes later down the year, and can't wait to see what you bring to the table as far as podcast episodes and the guests that you're able to bring on and the story you're able to tell. So I definitely appreciate you joining for not only for this one, but all the ones coming up, and we definitely look forward to it, buddy.
Yes, sir.
So next week's episode, we will be teasing that a little bit, and we'll be sitting down with GBK Kennels. They are the owners of the dogs that finished first and second in the one-day option last year in 2025. So we got to sit down with those guys and have a good conversation with them, and I think y'all are really going to enjoy it. So y'all be sure to tune in for the next episodes, and thank y'all so much for listening. Again, welcome back to the 2026 season, and we'll keep on rocking and rolling with this thing, guys. So thank y'all so much, and like always, guys, happy hunting.